Are YouTubers going to save racing? Is that really where we are? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Emelia Hartford has made an offer on buying Willow Springs, the legendary Willow Springs Raceway. Emelia Hartford is a West Coast automotive YouTuber, and she has put in a very serious offer to be able to buy that racetrack, which is actually a conglomeration of a number of racetracks. And that's absolutely crazy to me to think that somebody that's, I mean, I wouldn't call her a peer. She does slightly better than I do, but somebody that does technically what I do is able to even imagine buying something like Willow Springs Raceway. But if you look at it, Cleetus Mcfarland has done the same thing. He went out and he put his money where his mouth is. He used his YouTube revenue and his power to be able to buy and renovate Bradenton. And it is now the Freedom Factory. And it is an absolutely fantastic location. I have been there. I was there last year for their winter warm-up race, and it was a great time. It's doing very, very well. But it really raises the question to me of, is this the future of what we see in automotive racing? Because you all know, if you've been in racing, whether it's drag racing, well, maybe not street racing, but drag racing, road racing, any of that kind of stuff, it's a tough time for tracks right now. It's a very tough time. Attendance is down, costs are up, insurance is definitely up, and interest is kind of waning in a lot of ways. Other than a few things that are doing well, for the most part, this is a really, really tough time for a lot of racetracks. And I think it's something I really want to talk about. So I'm going to go pour myself a drink, and I'm going to start a brand new YouTube series playlist right now where we're going to do Tuesday Talking over a whiskey. So give me a second. Let me pour myself a glass, and I'll be right back with you. There we go with a little bit of Eagle Rare for this evening. That'll work. Just a nip, mind you. I've got work in the morning. Yeah. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. YouTubers saving racing. It's not just road racing. It's dirt track racing. It's drag racing. It's all kinds of racing. Everybody's really in a rough spot right now. Now, whether or not that's through political reasons or whatever, we can all undoubtedly express the fact that right now is a rough time for racing. And it makes sense, once you kind of start thinking about it, that YouTubers might be the people that would step up and really save racing. Too many tracks right now are being sold off because the cost of operation is too high and the land is just too damn valuable. Especially if it's around a city where somebody wants to come in and develop it and be able to make a whole bunch of homes. Cleetus Mcfarland actually is dealing with this down in Florida right now, and his is an incredibly successful track, and he's a massive, massive YouTuber. They're now putting a development literally right next door to his racetrack, and he's fighting it tooth and nail to be able to keep it alive, but he may or may not be on the losing side of this. It's going to be kind of hard for him to make it through it, but we'll see. Cleetus is a pretty smart dude, and he's got a lot of people behind him, but this whole thing with Emelia Hartford really kind of just blew me out of the water. Like, Cleetus bought a small, tiny little circle track in the middle of, not in the middle of nowhere, Florida, but in kind of middle of nowhere, Florida. Bradenton is west coast, just south of Tampa. It's not real far out of the city, but it's a rundown, or it was a rundown circle track facility. And when he bought it, it had been closed for a number of years, and it needed a lot. And Cleetus poured a lot into it. Emelia, on the other hand, in California, is looking at a established, historic, nationally known racetrack facility that is vastly larger than what Cleetus is looking at with the Freedom Factory. And she doesn't have nearly the reach that Cleetus does. But she made a video the other day about the fact that she wants to kind of put this out there into the internet, into the universe, to see whether or not some things can go in the positive for her. And I really kind of love that, because as YouTubers, our power grows as our subscriber base grows, as our viewership grows. I don't want to maybe say subscribers, but as our viewership grows, you get a higher and higher level of revenue that comes into the channel, and you can use that for good, for ill, for whatever you want. But it also puts you in touch with or in view of a lot of other people that may be interested in doing business with you. And if you look at racetracks, a lot of them get involved with sponsorships. And that crosses over very, very nicely between YouTubers that are doing paid sponsorship stuff and racetracks that need paid sponsorships. Whether it's buying a spot on the wall or a billboard or whatever. And the opportunity there, I think, for YouTubers to kind of cross that line and blend those two things together, it's starting to make a lot more sense to me. And I'm really very interested to see where this whole Emelia Hartford thing goes. Now, listen, I'm not saying that I'm anywhere near the ability to buy a racetrack. I'm not. Nowhere near. Oh, that's a good whiskey. But if you think about it, you could be whatever size you want to be. You could just have a video go crazy. Small-time YouTubers. This is a small channel. We're not even at 2,000 subscribers yet. Small YouTube channels can have something go huge, can have something explode, and develop a massive following overnight. This video may go nuts. It may get 200,000 views, in which case I'll make a decent amount of money off of it. Then all you got to do is just replicate that result. Make it happen again and again and again, and off you go, off to the races. On almost any other business, that's not really a possibility. You cannot start a landscaping business and do a great job on one neighbor's yard. My yard looks pretty good. My landscaper can't do a great job on my yard and immediately make a pile of money off of my yard and then do every other yard around me to make a bunch of money off of it. He can't expand that well. He can't grow that quickly. His business physically cannot do that. YouTube, you can. You can do that through YouTube. Through no other extra expense, no other extra growth, no extra employees even. You can develop a YouTube channel like that. All it really takes is something to take off, and then to follow it and make something else take off, and follow it and make something else take off. Stay focused on whatever it is that's working for you and keep working it. Now, don't sell out. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that that's a great idea. But whatever's working for you, keep working it. Because you can grow a YouTube channel in a hurry. There's no limitations on whether or not you can or cannot do a thing. Do it. See if it works. If it doesn't work, do it again maybe. If it doesn't work and you don't want to do it again, then don't do it again. But YouTube gives you that focus. It gives you that ability to do it. And I'm thinking maybe Emelia is tapping into something very interesting here. If she puts this out in the world and into the internets, as YouTube would be, maybe that's what will help really, really expand her reach and really get out there and get some people interested. And it really makes me think, I've used a lot of reelies. I've only had a tiny little bit of whiskey so far. Damn, that's good. I really think it could be something interesting, especially in the no prep world. In the small mom and pop racetrack stuff. The little drag strips that dot the communities of the Midwest and the South that still exist. Twin Rivers is available at the moment. And there's a bunch of other small tracks that I'm sure I don't know about that are coming up available because the revenue stream just isn't there for people to do every single weekend racing. The index racing stuff is not what it used to be. The grudge racing stuff, the test and tune stuff, it's hard to pay for track maintenance and staffing and insurance and all the other costs that come into it, much less making a profit out of a racetrack now. But if you were a YouTuber and you bought the racetrack, well, don't you have the rights to be able to stream the racing from your racetrack that you now own? And people could watch from the comfort of their own homes. Instead of having to sell tickets to be able to get people in the stands and then maybe sell them some hot dogs and some Cokes, maybe some cold snacks, well, just let them watch online. Even if you don't fill the stands, you could fill the stands virtually online, and you can make revenue off of that. And I think that's something that really could be an interesting moment for small tracks to pair up with YouTubers. Street racing channel. A lot of you are going to know me through that. travels extensively throughout the Midwest and down into the South to go do, no prep racing. That's what they're known for. And those guys have done super, super well. Their channels are doing great. I'm super proud of them. Gen 2 Garage, by the way, if you haven't seen this, just got selected to do Roadkill Nights, which is enormous. They just ended up buying a Dodge Dakota RT, I think, and they're putting the new inline 6 twin turbo Mopar motor in it, which is going to be awesome. I'm super excited for those guys. And I am beyond proud of those guys for what they've done, for where they are and where they're going. That moment where they have been recognized by Dodge and by the people of Roadkill is enormous. That kicks open the door to so many things that they could do with their little empire that they have growing right now. I don't want to say little empire. They've got a pretty sizable empire going. But it exposes them to a whole new audience, and I think it's going to be a huge thing for them. And I'm super excited to see where they go with it. The Roadkill thing isn't until August, but they've got a whole lot of content that they're going to be able to make over the next couple of months, and it's going to be a huge, huge thing for their channel. And then who knows what they're going to be doing. But I love the idea that all it takes is a YouTuber to really get on board with a small track and figure out the way to do this and support that track. So it could be a place that they create content. They could bring other content creators out to do content at their track. They could stream services from their, or events from their own track and make revenue off of that. There's a lot of different options, in addition to the fact that you could also sell tickets to be at the track and hot dogs and cold snacks. It's just an auxiliary stream of income to be able to support that track. And I think it makes a ton of sense. And I love the idea that YouTubers are kind of getting on board with this, maybe. Now, I'm not saying that Emelia is going to end up buying this racetrack. I know she's putting in a legit offer. She's legitimately trying to do this. This is not something that's just whimsy. And I wish her the best, because I think it's going to be awesome. If she's able to buy this, I think it's got all kinds of potential of really changing how things are going to be going. And I would love to see more large YouTube guys and gals stepping up and doing something similar. If you've got a small local track that's around you, that's maybe, in a bad way, figure out what the financials of that looks like. What does it really cost per month to be able to hold onto that racetrack and not let it get bulldozed and turned to apartments or a parking lot or a Google? Well, let's not talk about a Google data center. Those guys have got a lot of money. But all these little local tracks that are closing, what does it cost per month to be able to make that happen? And what's the potential as far as the YouTube revenue that you could make out of buying that track, hosting events, and using it to make that money? I think the economics is there. And never in my world did I ever think that I would think, buying a racetrack makes kind of a lot of sense. But if we don't buy them, nobody will. If it's not going to be for us enthusiasts that buy them, you're not going to see large investments into racetracks in the U.S. I hate to tell you this, but it's not a great time to own a racetrack. It's tough. It's very, very tough. And I think maybe this could be, something that maybe saves this stuff. And it could be really cool if you think about it, especially with all the YouTubers, at least the ones of us that get along with everybody else. That could be a really neat little racing series if we got involved with each other, if there were different people that own different racing tracks, and we could set up a no prep kings kind of thing. Ow, sweat in my eye, ow. Or if you bought, a road course track or whatever it is you bought. By the way, it's 95 degrees out right now, and it's insanely hot and like 90% humidity. So that's why I'm sweating like a pig. But I think it could be awesome. I really do. And I wish Emelia all the best. I think Cleetus is onto something amazing what he's doing with the Freedom Factory. With Bradenton Motorsports Park right next to him, those guys have had unbelievable success over the last couple of years. All on the backs of just some crazy YouTuber doing stuff and, putting his money where his mouth is. So I'm not saying I'm buying a racetrack anytime soon. That's not what I'm saying. But I want to encourage other people to do good acts with the powers that they have when it comes to YouTube. And I think, listen, if I happen to have 1 million subscribers next year on YouTube, I'm looking for a friggin' racetrack. I'll promise you that right now. If I have 1 million subscribers between now and next year, at this time in June, I'm buying a racetrack. I'm going to find a racetrack. I don't care if it's a roundy round track or a dirt track or a drag strip or a road race track. I don't care. I'm buying a racetrack, or at least trying to buy a racetrack. At least that's my idea. I don't know. That's my Tuesday my Tuesday thinkings. I don't know if I'm going to make this a thing or not. I just kind of felt like, especially following Emelia's video that I saw earlier today, it's something really interesting, and it really got me thinking, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. What do you think? Is this feasible? Does this make sense? Could this be the future of racing, and what saves racing in the United States is a bunch of YouTubers getting together and buying racetracks to be able to protect them from getting developed and closed? Maybe. Maybe. So this is just a Tuesday chat with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know. I'm definitely interested in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with all you guys about this. I've been very surprised with the success of this channel, pleasantly surprised, and I'm very much appreciative to all of you guys who have made it that way. So thank you guys all very, very much. You are all amazing folks, and I do truly appreciate you. You're helping to pay some of my bills that I'm hemorrhaging money on right now. I have some really big stuff in store. I just actually made another massive decision today about another thing that I'm going to get myself involved in that's going to be coming up at the end of July. So I am overextending myself in true automotive YouTuber fashion, way overextending myself. But I think it's got a lot of potential, and I think it could be something really cool. And I got a lot coming for you guys. So tomorrow is a very busy day for me. Today was a very, very hot, very busy day. But I will be getting back on my Pontiac project here shortly. I just wanted to have a drink, talk with you guys, and see how you're doing on this wonderful Tuesday evening. And welcome to Automotive Adventures with Austin, by the way. This is my own little personal corner of the YouTube internets. Just a place that I can talk to you guys and share some of the projects and things that I work on. And, you know, my afternoons, weekends, and that kind of stuff where I'm not doing my official stuff at the shop. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, it's not normally going to be me sitting around drinking whiskey on my porch. But maybe it'll be a Tuesday thing or a Wednesday thing. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know. Have a great one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.